is what are we about? The essence of these trainings is to be able to coach people to experience what we call LEAP, and it's called leadership and empowerment to achieve profitability in every area of your life, be it family, career, be it business, or wherever you want to experience that leap. Through our trainings, you'll be able to experience it. And the first of our training is what we bring into you today, and that is building wealth for generations. It's just one of many of the trainings that we'll be doing, and we'll be looking at this. So one of the trainings that we'll be doing. So for this, we'll be focusing on you being able to build wealth regardless of your level of income, regardless of where you are right now. We believe you are able to do so, and we'll be bringing to you a series of tips that will help you to be able to achieve that over a period of time. Okay, I've got Adironke putting up her hand. Is there something? Are you able to put in your question into the chat, please? Okay. Is there anyone else who cannot hear me? Are we all able to hear me? If you can hear me, please, you can use the emoji to do thumbs up. Can you all hear me? Okay, if you can hear me, can you put up a thumbs up? Okay, a raise of hand. I believe the raise of hand means you can hear me. I want to believe. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I believe you are able to hear me. Okay, that's all right. Let's continue then. You can check your audio setting and see if you can and check if you can hear me now. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so by way of introduction, so that's what we want to help individual to be able to achieve financial independence, and also pave the way for those who are coming behind. And we want that to start with you. And our goal, as we said, is not just for you to have a comfortable retirement. It's not for you to be able to pay for the college expense of your children, but to keep the next generation, give them a platform to stand upon for them to be able to continue from where we might not have that kind of platform, but we have an opportunity to be able to give those who are coming behind us that kind of platform. And today we'll be going through the following things, quite a lot to go through. So I will probably run a little bit, and where I think I need to slow down, I will slow down for us to be able to understand me and catch what I'm saying. Just about me, it's a long one. I'll just summarize it for you. Read the first line, and then maybe when you get the recording later, you can know a little bit more. I have over 20 years experience in enterprise, IT consultancy. Currently, I've worked with both public and private companies in the United Kingdom over the last 15 years, thereabout, if no more. And also concerned in the area of trading, I registered my first account, as I have one of the slides, about 2006 thereabout, and I've started different companies, IT companies, fashion retail companies, arts retail companies, and a lot of other platforms. I have an MSc in business strategy, leadership, and change, and I have a couple of certification as a Scrum Master in business analysis and the rest of them. And I'm also, by the grace of God, a member of RCCG, where I have a title, I will say, as an assistant pastor. And no. Okay, so what's the motivation? The motivation is is that I always thought the making money from the stock market is for big people, people who really, really have a lot of money to invest. But later through education, and I was able to understand that anybody can actually put money in, and you can actually put in as little as £100 into the market and start making some money from it. And when I discovered this and I started it, uh, from as little as £100. And over the years, I've seen great results. And I thought I shouldn't keep this to myself alone, that I should share this wisdom. I thought, like you have in the last line, I wish I'd known this over the last 10 years. I think I would have gone further than I am right now with my portfolio. And here is a screenshot of when I first opened my first trading account. That was in September 2006. And before moving to the UK in 2008, about 2 years, then we were going to cyber cafe to trade. And it was tough because the internet will just go off while doing so. But coming to the UK, I continued in trading. But later, I discovered the difference between trading and investing. And that's what I'll be showing us today. Because I've moved on from trading into actually becoming an investor, becoming a shareholder, earning dividend across tens and tens of companies across the world. And I believe you can do the same. It doesn't take so much to do it. It just takes somebody showing you a few things and you are able to do that. I want to believe I've got two hands raised up. Are they legacy hands, or are they, do you have questions? Okay, if not, okay, thank you very much. Um, so what is generational wealth? And this is when you are able to accumulate assets that you're able to pass on to people who are coming behind you, either to children, to grandchildren, to great-grandchildren. And we have families on the screen who have done that over the years. And the Wharton family is one of them, the Laurier, the Mars family, the Duke of Westminster is a family that you've been able to pass on wealth to generations. And the other families who are not that prominent. If you still go to Forbes list of billionaires today, the Walmart family, you still have like 6 or 7 of them within the top 150 billionaires in the world. And that's what a lot of people have learned to do. And it's not rocket science to do so. And what they end up having is to have a family office where they provide financial advice for everybody within the generations of that family. And that's something you want to aim to do at the end of the day. And so everything they want to know about their finances, there's an office where they all go to. They have that, and they manage their portfolios for them. And there's, it's more like a third party managing it for the family, but it's still owned by the family. And that's how they sustain wealth through the generations, through their generations. Why don't people, and I want you to contribute here, why don't people do this? Why don't we do this? Why didn't I do it? Maybe it was lack of knowledge, as you can see on the board. If we don't kind of do this due to a lot of reasons. And it could be that you think you don't earn enough income. It could be that you have I'm still paying debt off, so I can't do this. It could be that you think that you have a lot of time in your hand. When I'm 40, 50, I'm going to start. It could be that you lost money in the past and you still don't feel good about doing anything with the market. It could be that, okay, I'm making pension contribution at work, and I think that should be enough. If I tell you how much the government state pension is, you will know that it can't take you anywhere. You have like 9,000 per annum from the state pension. Okay, again, you might have workplace pension. That could be a lot more than that. But at the end of the day, you probably could do better also having something parallel to all of those. It could be that, oh, don't worry, the system will take care of myself. My children will get student loan, and probably the government will take care of me when I'm older. I think you probably deserve a better life at retirement than what system will be able to provide for you. And so what might be your reason for not starting up to now? Mine was lack of knowledge of what to do. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know this kind of opportunity was available to me. And so I didn't start. If you don't mind, if you want to put in the chat, you can put a few of those reasons in the chat as we go along. Okay, why a lot of people is they don't understand what they're supposed to do. People might have money. I can say I have 5,000 somewhere, I have 10,000 somewhere. I don't even know what to do with it. But today, I think we will be able, by the grace of God, show you a few things that you can do with it. Okay, the next thing is that some people think, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow worry about itself, because yeah, because some of us who are Christian, we say, well, God says the birds of the air don't sow, and they don't reap, they don't even store anywhere, and God provides for them. So all these things, just leave tomorrow to God to take care of. But there's something that we also need to know, that the same that God won't do for you what you can do for yourself. And he said you should go to the ants, learn the way of the ants, and be wise. What do? During summer? They gather food. They don't need anyone to tell them that they need to gather food. And then when it's time of when it's winter, they gather what they've sown. And so there is also a winter and summer season also for us as human beings. There's a need for us to prepare for such a season, as much as we know that God is our source and is the one who can provide and protect whatever we have. We need to make an effort and prepare for the future. Okay, and why generational wealth? Okay, it's God wants us to have it. God wants us to prosper. And for those who are not of faith, and I know you know that there's a need for you to do that. He also wants us to take responsibility and leadership for whatever we do. There's something there in red that I saw, and in fact, my wife saw it on Instagram, and she showed me, and I was like, I'm going to put this on my slide. He said, I am from a poor background, ends at 30. So after that, you are the background. So you should be the one, forming a foundation for people after you. Your excuses of coming from a poor background ends when you are 30. And in fact, it ends when you are 20. Once you are out of university, that excuse of I didn't have a background, or you have a poor background, hence at 25 actually. And then you are now meant to, be the background and be able to give other people a pedestal to stand on, a state to stand on. And it's a matter of stewardship. Do you eat all that God gives to you? Do you eat all that comes into your hand? Part of what you receive, part of it is a seed for you. If you're a farmer and all you harvest, you eat it every year, and you don't keep seeds for next planting season, you're probably going to have a problem when planting season comes. So there's a need from everything that comes into your hand. Part of it is a seed. Part of it is a seed. And you be a good man to leave inheritance for your children and children's children. Okay, and we can see the law of harvest which sustains the world. It's a cycle that you don't want to break, of planting, of harvesting, and of planting, and of harvesting. Okay. And we also have here that we have a lot of people who didn't inherit their wealth, who built it. As we can see, LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moët and SC, the owner. You can see common names that we are familiar with. We hear on a daily basis. The founder of Google, Oracle, Larry Ellison, Jack Ma of Alibaba, of Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer of Microsoft, and popular Elon Musk of SpaceX, Tesla, and then of a new one he started like this week, X.AI. That's a new company he just started, and then we can see here how can you become a millionaire. It could be that you win a lottery. If you look at what I have here, the chances kind of diminishes from the top. The chance is very, very slim. Across that out because I don't play and I won't encourage you to play. And then you have inheritance or gifts. You could be an executive or a multinational and you've been given a lot of shares, like the CEO of Microsoft and of Google and the rest of them. They are millionaires. But you can start a business, but we know that the chance of having a business that become $1 million or pound or billions is also is possible, but it's not the odd is not so much for in your favor. And then you could become good at what you do, which I think is something every one of us can achieve. can become very good at what you do, and then your money can work for you. And there's everyone on this platform can do that, regardless of the sector where you work. There is no walk of life that has not made a millionaire of people. People have been millionaires selling pepper. People have become millionaires doing money or selling wood or being a cleaner or being an IT person or being a doctor or whatever it is that you want to do. Every aspect of life can make a millionaire of you and can make your money work for you. And so let's go into that. And I'm standing on the shoulders of people today. Our people have encouraged me to do this. Pastor Dom, Pastor Iwaju, my wife, they've all pushed me to do this because I just want to make my money without making so much, but I think there's a need. I've been pushed to be encouraged, I would say, with these people who have encouraged me to put this together. And I'm happy doing so. And I'm sure we all benefit from this at the end of the day. So we can see in front of us a list of about 8 things that are pillars that you must have in place to be able to build generational wealth. There are things that we need to understand, we need to consistently do. They're not things that you do once and you stop because they are pillars. There's a need for us to maintain them, to keep them standing all through the process of building wealth. And the first of them, which I will talk about, is our mindset. Is our mindset. If you go for any seminar, you see them talking a lot about mindset, about psychology of money, about you getting it right, because poverty is more of a mental blockage than what is around you. It's more of an internal thing than an external thing. So there is a need for you to be able to break free from that limitation of it is not possible, it is hard, and that's what they call the learned helplessness. That even when you now have an opportunity, you can't seize it anymore because you learn to become helpless about things. And so there's a need for us to, first of all, break free from that and to understand that you can do it and you're able to do it. So I'm not so much of a motivational speaker, but for those who are of faith, it is a covenant blessing for you. And then to leave an inheritance for the next generation, it is something that God has empowered us all to do. And then you also trust. Some people call it having an hunch, but I'll call it divine direction in whatever you do. And that is the first foundation that you must have. You must be able to be comfortable being worthy. Don't resent the rich. It's not everybody that steals. Let's stop resenting those who are rich, because you can't be too. And when you become one, people will resent you too. And so you must first of all free our mindset from that. And that's the very first foundation. I'll move on from there. Got a lot of slides to go through. And the next part is that you need financial education, continuous financial education. Ignorance is very, very expensive. Very expensive, because the mistake you made when you don't know, you'll be a lot more. I've wasted, if not close to $30,000 or pounds, about 25,000 pounds, doing the wrong thing, because I just wanted to understand this. And I spent so much money trading when I'm supposed to be investing. And that was a wrong route to go. Some people might probably be comfortable with trading, but I'm probably one of them. I've wasted a lot, when I say a lot, and a lot of money, either borrowed money, credit card money, all of that to trade, and just until I understood that there is a better way. And there is a passive way where you can just put something somewhere and go to sleep, and that money keeps working for you. That you don't need to open your platform on a daily basis to do day trading. And so it's very important when someone has passed through that route before and is able to hold you by the hand and show you what you're supposed to do, and from there you can take it on from there. And then it takes a trained eye to be able to spot opportunities. So invest in your education. Do as much as you can do to learn on a daily basis. Yes, you are professionals. You have what you do on a daily basis. I have what I do. I'm an IT consultant. But apart from that, I pick up on other things just to educate myself or on that path of financial freedom. It increases your confidence when you know, and it provides guidance for you. And how do you know? Through training, through mentorship, leveraging on other people's experience, and you'll be leveraging on mine today and going forward. And then read some books, some 4 common books, very popular books, which I am sure a lot of us have read in the past, and they become they kind of, they are timeless. They've been there, and a lot more other books that I've read that I've not included here. So let's try and educate ourselves. Continuous education is another pillar that you must have. First one, your mindset. Self is number 2 pillar. Number 3, you must earn something, because it can't just fall on your lap. It could be small, but you must earn something. So you need to create an income for yourself first, and then that represents you getting a constant seed on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, depending on how you are paid. And then you need to protect that source of income. You don't mess up where you eat, and so you need to protect where that is coming from. And then you need, and wherever you are right now, if you have a chance for me to have a chat with you, I'll tell you where you have today is a bridge, and you don't build a house on a bridge. You don't park a lorry on a bridge. A bridge is for you to keep moving on. It's just for you to cross from one place to the other. And so when you're on where you are right now, your current job is a bridge, is an instrument God has given to you to get to where you want to go to. And so don't just stay there. Don't build an edifice on that bridge. Keep moving, okay? And then increase your earning, retrain, move on to a new area of training. I will show you a slide after this. What have been my movement in the UK? Create more streams of income, spend more than you earn, and then it's another pillar that you must have. And I put this up, which has been my journey, starting, and I'm sure a lot of people might be able to identify with this journey for themselves, starting with as a warehouse operative, moving into healthcare, moving to become a support analyst after a series of trainings and certifications. That's been able to adapt myself to what is happening here, even though I've been doing that back in my home country, but I have to retrain again to be able to get into that first graduate role. And then moving on to become DevOps, and moving on to become a business analyst, and to become a consultant in that area. And then moving on from there to become a solution architect. I'm not that yet, but that is where I have my eyes on next. And with all these steps, you experience increase in income, isn't it? You experience increase in income, and I know that if I move on to become a solution architect, I know that I would again increase what I earn. So I see where I am right now. It's not the final position. I'm moving on to the next thing, and I want us to have that same kind of mindset. Let's keep moving. Retrain yourself. Look for an area where look for an area that is not people. A lot of people are not into in your sector, and go. And it could be hard for you to do the training, but at the end of the day, you are standing out in the midst of so many people. And very few people become a millionaire working a 9-to-5 job for someone else. But there's something I said we can do. We can put our money to work for us 24/7 and becoming a millionaire. And being able to pass that on to generation becomes very easy for us. Okay, moving on quickly to the next pillar. This is financial control. You be able to control what you earn. You have your mindset being worked on. You have your education. You are earning something. You have a seed from there. You need to control what is coming in. It said what each of us calls our necessary expenses will always grow to equal to our income unless we protest to the contrary. Have you noticed that when you were on 1,000, it wasn't enough? When you were on 3,000, you said, there are other things to do. When you were on moving on to 5,000, 7,000, it seems as if something is still coming around to take it from you. There's a need for you to protest. Those expenses will look necessary. A bigger car will look necessary. A bigger house will look so necessary. That person you need to give something to us, that thing you need to do will look so necessary. So your expense will always automatically grow to equal to your income, unless you intentionally protest against it and say, no, this should be for this should. So you have to be in that control by putting in a budget to say, this is the budget that goes into this is the budget that goes into that. And we have the very popular rule, the 50-30-20 rule, which is talking about 50% into very important expenses like your rent, which you cannot do without. And I have a kind of simulation for that here. About 50% there. About your circumstances might be different, where you are in your journey might be different, and then you have 50% into that, which is very important, you cannot avoid. You have 30% into that, which is discretionary, which you can avoid, but you might need to do. That's the one in blue. The one in green is the one you can't run away from. This one is discretionary, and this aspect is 20%, which is either for savings investment and for either you're paying off a loan or a credit card. And so if you are able to, and I have another one here, if your income is not that much, you have this. So if you have this income and you are living in a house that is double this, you need to do something about it. It's kind of out of control. So that's the 50-30-20 rule that you need to subject your. So meaning that this, by all means, must always come out of your income, regardless of what it is. It could be 50 pounds. It could be 25 pounds. But form that habit. What you are trying to do is to train yourself. If you don't train yourself to do that, when your income doubles, your expense will automatically double. If it triples, your expenses will automatically triple, unless you form the habit of putting some seed aside on a monthly basis. If it is 10 pounds, put 10 pounds. You can say it's nothing, but you are forming an habit that once you now earn more, it's be difficult for you to break that habit. And if that is one thing that you take out of this training, I think it's worth it. Let's form that mindset of knowing that something is for you to keep, and it's a seed that you must not eat, so that you can plant and have an harvest tomorrow. Okay, and then the next pillar in building wealth is investment. Is you actually putting to use that which you have put aside. Is you planting that which you have put aside. A single seed can become a forest if well managed. So that means you need to automate your savings. You need to put investment into either paper investment, either real estate, or either into starting or buying a business, and avoiding personal debts. Those are ways for you to be. Those are the next pillar, where you continuously put the seed from your income into. And we'll get into showing you a practical. We'll get into showing a few things very soon. Just running through this. So next we have, and the next pillar is that of wealth preservation. And you don't want to have it all today and tomorrow you back to zero. You know, I'm not your typical YouTuber. I followed one during the pandemic, and this guy put all his I thought he was a smart guy, so I listened to him until towards the end of 2021, and he put all his money into a single stock, and he lost it, and that stock dropped 45%. And he lost it, and I just looked at him and I shook my head out. So there's a need for you to be able to understand risk management, very, very important, and then being able to diversify your portfolio. You do that based on sector, you do that based on geographical location, and based on a lot of factors, even based on age. That's the way you diversify based on how old you are. And then there's a need for you to constantly balance your portfolio, so that when a sector is affected, it doesn't wipe away whatever you have been able to accumulate. And then there's a risk that goes with age also. And there's a need to get a tax advice, so the government doesn't use the back door to come and take away what you have worked for. And that's just the meaning of you taking a risk. So the seventh pillar is succession planning. And these are things we also need to know. How do we transfer this? How do you form trust? How do you form shareholding? How do you form a family office? How do you prepare will? And how do you transfer this to the next generation? Time will fail us to go deeper into how to do all of this. And some of them you will need an expert in those areas to be able to advise you on them. And the eighth pillar is giving, charitable giving. There is blessing in giving. Hardly is there a rich person, either of faith or not of faith, that does not do this. And for us, for those of us who have faith, we know that there is a blessing attached to giving. Look for a cause you are passionate that touches your heart, you are passionate for, and give towards it. There is blessing in it. When you do that, it will come back to you in many folds. And in fact, you are helping a lot of people when you do that. So these are the 8 pillars that you need to maintain while you are building wealth. There are things that it doesn't go away. It happens on a daily basis in your life, and you need to maintain that. Then again, we look at 5 phases of mastering the 5 phases. And these are phases. Some you can be in multiple phases. You can be in a phase at a particular point in time. But this is you making progression in your journey towards building wealth for generation. Phase 1, say understanding money. One of the things we are doing right now is us trying to understand what is this thing, what is this paper all about. And then again, we talk about mindset reset. That's the phase we have right now, and that's why we are here all gathered together, trying to have a reset and trying to understand how we can, where we can put those extra money we have into. And then we need to, in face of you breaking old habits and forming new habits, it could be hard. And they also being able to bring your spouse on the same page with you. Some will not be on the same page with you until they start seeing the results, and that's good. But they say also always a need to have that synergy within a home to be able to move faster and further. Okay, and then becoming debt free is also part of what you do in your phase 1. You want to become debt free within the next 24 months. You have to do all you can and start working towards being able to do that. There's a system that's worked for us, and then which will probably I don't have enough time to share it today, but there are systems out there that you can use to work your way out of that. And again, the next one is on the phase 1, you want to have a reserve fund. So the first thing you want to do after this class is to start putting together a fund. It's your reserve fund is what, no more than 1,000, or if you can do more than 1,000, you start from 1,000, and that helps you from going into credit card. That helps you from going into overdrafts, and that you have that kept somewhere, that if there's anything should come up, you don't dip into credit card or into overdraft. You can just take from there and use. And the next thing you're going to do on the phase 1 is that you open an investment account. That £20, that £50, that £100 that you're able to save in a month, that 200, £500 you are putting aside into an investment account. So that's the phase 1. And the phase 2 is that you are now building a contingency fund. Some people call it emergency fund, but I don't like to use the word emergency. I just call it contingency fund, and that is your 3 to 6 months income. That's the next step or the next stage that you have. You want to have aside your 3 to 6 months expenses that if one is in between job, God forbid, you have something to fall on without. I was having a chat with somebody yesterday. Said a lot of people are 2 events away from becoming very poor, get into financial trouble. 2 events away, some 1 event away, and they're in serious trouble. So we don't want that to be our case. So there's a need for us to. So second phase, you want to build a fund that can cover you for the next 3 or 6 months in case you are in between job, and then you want to automate your savings. You want to get to that level of at least 10%. You're going to 20%, but you want to get to at least 10%. And then you want to get more mentoring, understand what it is to pick a stock or to know a very good investment. You want to start consolidating your investment. You want to open a fund for children's education. Okay, I can see a few. Let me check the chart and see a few. Okay, lack of information, lack of money. We cannot charts. Charts says chart disabled. Okay. Uh, if you are not able to chat, you can try again. I think I enabled it after some people came in, and so you probably try it again. You might be able to do that now. Some still can't do it. Maybe if you log in and log out and log in again, you might be able to chat, because I enabled it after some people have joined. So let's give that a try. So apologies for that. Okay. And we have minimum. Okay, so you have your minimum household income of 15 to 20%. So we have phase 3, which is you diversifying your portfolio. At this point, you understand what you are doing to a very large extent. You want to diversify into different sector, want to try different investment instrument. You want to start targeting dividend kind of stock, like I started doing now. A few weeks ago, I was just buying a lot of dividend stock. Even though I know the advantage and disadvantages, I was like, okay, you kind of feeling you're old now. You need to start earning dividend, and I was buying more dividend stock than the ones that don't pay dividend. And then you have a better understanding of what you're doing. You know a bad one from a bad investment from a good investment. You're trying to pay off at this point. You want to pay off the mortgage of your home, not the one that you use for investment, of your primary residence. And then you want to be sure you are putting away into your investment as high as 15 to 20% of your income. Okay, and in fact, there's a rule there's a 70-20-10 rule, where at some point almost 70% of your income is going into investment, and 20 into other 30 into other expenses, because you need to protest and not allow your expenses to grow with your income. Okay, the next phase is the fourth phase, is when you now go into geographical diversification. So you don't just have property in the United Kingdom, you have property in the US, you have property across the world. At times I look at people who live in Ukraine and who have built wealth over the years, and there's one in Ukraine right now, all their real estate value has gone to almost zero. And they probably wish they had one in the US or in the UK, and you're able to start, kind of going across borders and go into more sophisticated investments, become an angel investor. That's when you put money into startup companies, high risk, but you know what you are doing. It's probably 1% of your wealth or 2% of your wealth, so you know what you're doing. You're looking at multiple streams of income. You start going into estate planning and everything that you need to do. And finally, you need to mentor the next generation, and that's a phase that you can actually start now. We need to start that now. And in fact, we'll be doing trainings for people who are 13 to 17, who are young people, teenagers. We'll be doing training, free training for them to be able to understand what this is. We don't want our children to wait when they are 25 and they've learned all the bad habits before they start trying to unlearn it. So we'll be doing trainings for 13-year-old to 17-year-old. We'll let you know once that training package is ready. And so succession planning, setting up a family office that will manage your wealth and enjoying a very wonderful retirement. And that is what we want. Okay, so let's go into the next phase, which is us looking at the cash flow quadrant. This is a very important concept that Robert Kiyosaki came up with, and understanding of it has really helped me. And I thought I should also share that. So you have the EBSI in this quadrant. Some of us if you read that book, you probably know. The E is employment. That is where you start earning from, or depending on what you do. The B is business. The S is self-employed, and the I is investments sector. And this is how I can explain this to you. So if you look at the E sector, which probably a lot of us are in, is when you have a job. You get paid for that job. Okay, and but you have no leverage because you must go to work. Okay, and then you have the one under it, which is the S, where I probably find myself now. You own a job. Okay, you are self-employed, you own a job, you have no leverage. When you don't work, you don't make money. Okay, so because you are trading your time for money and there's no leverage for you. But you look at the other side of the quadrant where you have the B and the I. B is when you own a business, you own a system, and people work for you. And so you leverage on people. Now you are multiplying your efforts, not just you, but a lot of people are duplicating what you are able to do, and they are bringing money for you. And then the other part is the I part, which you are an investor and your money is working for you. And that is what passive income. So you don't have to work, your money is working for you in that area. And the good thing is that you can be in the E quadrant, and then you are putting your money into the I quadrant, or you are putting your money into the B quadrant. So even though you are still in the E quadrant, and eventually you want to move into either the S and then move into the B while you are still maintaining the I. And if you remain here for a very long time, you make sure you are doing this and you are doing this. Okay, so that's what this cash flow quadrant is all about. So you have no leverage here. You have no leverage here because you own a job. Okay, if you don't work, you don't get paid. Then you have people working for you here. You have your money working for you here, and this is where you want to be. And anybody in these other three quadrants can be here, where their money is working for them and they have passive income coming in. And so what does leverage, what are the advantages of you leveraging? Is you have, equals to multiplied effort. You have a multiplier effect, and you have other people's time, other people's knowledge, other people's wisdom, other people's influence, other people's money. All of that is working for you when you understand what leverage is all about. You're able to leverage on all of those things to work for you to bring about a multiplier effect into your effort of building wealth for generations to come. Okay, and then let's move on into some other exciting, more interesting stuff. I will share my browser in a moment, and we can play around with this compound interest calculator. You can I can put in the chat for us to be able to use. Let me copy that and put in the chat. That's my favorite calculator, and I'll just put to everyone. Okay, you can either use it now or use it later. And so if that pops up for you, that will probably activate the chat for you if it's not yet activated. Okay, no. Okay, I think if you probably go out and come in again, maybe that will allow you to be able to be able to chat. Apologies that I activated that very late, and I probably have not activated the videos too. I should have from the beginning. So lessons learned for next session. Okay, so I'll bring up my browser, and let me close things that are not relevant. And okay, are you able to see? Okay, so I'll click on this, copy that into the chart. And this is a compound interest calculator, which is the next thing. If you want to make compound interest work in your favor, okay, you want to make compound interest work in your favor. And if I put up the slides again, somebody call it the eighth wonder of the world. It's the eighth wonder of the world. And the popular billionaire Warren Buffett, he said, my wealth has come from a combination of living in America, some lucky genes, and compound interest. And Benjamin Franklin described it so well. He said, money makes money, and the money that makes money makes more money. So it's your money making money, and money making, the money that has made is making more money for you. And that's the power of compound interest. Those who understand it earn it. And if you don't understand it, you pay it, because that's what you pay when you have loans and debts. You pay compound interest. When you have credit card, it's a minimum payment is 1%. They know what they are doing. And then the law of compound interest comes in, and you are paying for compound interest. But if you understand it, you earn compound interest. So I've done some simulation here, which I'll just pick an example there, and then we'll go through on the browser. If you have a baby right now, congratulations. If you open an investment account for that baby with 1,000, and you put in a monthly investment of £200 into that investment, for a yearly return of an average of 10%, and the 10%, I will explain that to us. So the average of 10% is what the market has achieved between 8 to 10% in the last 75 years. So that's been proven that on the average, you have 10% return over a long period of time. Not when you put in money today and you want to put it out in the next 1 year. No, you could, so you have to give it time. So in the last 75 years, the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies in American stock exchange, both NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange put together, they've returned on the average. The S&P has shown on the average 10% over the last 75 years. Okay, and so we use that as the benchmark. So for a period of 18 years, that child on his or her way to the university will have 126,000 in that account. And what do? It means that child will not need a student loan, and that child can actually become a landlord from year one, and can house and can have tenants, some of its mates as tenants in its university city, where you can buy a small a 2-bed or a 3-bed apartment for the child. And from year one in the college, they have a part of their own. They don't have student loan debt, and they're collecting rent from their mates. And so that's what ideally what you want to achieve. And that will be 200. If you can afford £200 every month for your son, your daughter, I'll say put thumbs up, and I want you to do that right away. So we can simulate that. Another one which I want us to see the power of compounding interest is if, for instance, you are planning toward retirement, and which there is what is called Genius SIP. I will explain that in later slides, where you can even open a retirement account for your child now. If you put 200, and when they are 18, they can start putting in themselves. By the time they are 55, they have 5.9 million in that account. You do it for the first 18 years, and it's over to them to continue after 18 years, after they are 18. And then you give them, you give them a lift in life. And from that 126, they continue from there. By the time they are 55, by the time they are 40, they are ready to retire, actually. By the time they are 55, they already have almost 6 million in their account at a return rate of 10% per annum. And then you can do the same thing if you are 30 now, and then you're just starting out, and you can put in 300 into your ISA account or your SIP account for the next 30 years. When you are 60, you probably have about 700,000 sitting in that account for you, and that's a good retirement money. And then again, so I've now done a withdrawal simulation here, where you started out at 30 or 40, and then you put in this amount. By time for another 30 years, you have 2.2 million. And at the age of 60, you stop putting in money and you start withdrawing money from it without putting any money again. All your life, you will not finish withdrawing that money. If you live to become 100, you still have 59 million to pass on to your children. That's mind blowing, but it is possible. I've seen it that it is possible, and that's why I put together this particular class. And so I would bring up now. Let's simulate one or two of the scenarios we have here just for us to have, let me look at the time. Yeah, just about an hour in. Okay, so I will bring up my browser again. Okay, so we have this calculator. The currency doesn't matter. If you start an account with 1,000 at 10% rate, and let's say you are 30 now and you due for the next 30 years, and then you put in, I think I said, if you put in, I'd say 500, let's start with smaller figure, we can always increase it. You put in 300 on a monthly basis, your compound interest is on an annual basis, and you calculate in the next 30 years, you will have that amount in your account. If you increase that a little bit, say 400, what do you have? You have 900 in your account, and this is how it will build up all through. It means the actual money you put in, is this is what you've put in, 144. You know, your compound interest, I've done this for you. This is your compound interest. I've done this for you. Okay, so if you put in 500 on a monthly basis, you have this amount, and then you compound interest has put this for you, and then you have that. So at this point, let's assume you are now 60 years old, so you are starting with 1,150. So if you do that this way, 1, 2, 3, okay, as same interest rate, you're at 40 to become 100 years old, and you withdraw. At this point, maybe you give yourself a decent retirement of say 70,000 or 60,000 per annum. What would that be on a monthly basis? Let's say you have 500 on a monthly basis, and then if you calculate that, so that's withdrawing 6,000 for you on a monthly basis. By the time in a nutshell, that money keeps growing because the rate of withdrawal is less than the rate of is a lot less than the rate of return. The rate of return is higher than the rate of withdrawal from that money, and so you are able to continue to build on it. So you are withdrawing on a yearly basis. What is more than let me see, what is more than what you are putting in. So you starting, so this is 150,000. So I made a mistake there. This should be 1.5. I was wondering. So you started with 1.5 when you are 60. Your rate of interest is 10%. You live to become 100. You are withdrawing 5,000 on a monthly basis, and I will do that calculation again. Okay, so this is what you have. Your value of investment remains at 48 million, but you have 60,000 per annum you are withdrawing from that money, which is more than how much the money is earning for you. It's any interest of 150,000 for you on a yearly basis, and just withdrawing 60,000 out of it. All through, you still have 48,000 to pass on to the next generation from the account. And this is very much possible by the time you are 60. And this is something you want to work towards. That even when no matter how much you withdraw, you're just spending part of your interest from that money. And in fact, there's some fixed deposits with that kind of money that will earn you up to 10%. Even if you don't want to take the risk of the stock market, you can put that money into a fixed savings, that a targeted savings that gives up to 8%, 10%. You might be able to achieve withdrawing this, just spending interest all through your retirement, and that money will keep growing. So let's move on. So that's just an example of what is possible when you allow compound interest to work in your favor instead of it working against you. Okay, so I'll go back to that slide. And then, so I've also put here some simulations of those two links at the top. I will also put them in the chat, and then they can simulate for you what the actual return in the stock market with some of the shares I've listed here. the actual return over the years. So I'm going to put these two links also in the chat. You can open any one of them. You can open any of the two. And this is just to show us what is possible and what people are experiencing. And I would say what I have experienced. I'm not, like I said, I'm not your average YouTuber that, just they behave like CNN. They tell you what has happened. Please don't follow CNN for financial advice, because they are newscasters. They tell you what has made headline. It's not what it's not what they don't tell you how to prepare for you to be part of that headline, but they tell you when it has happened. So let me just show us that, and then we simulate using those two links. Simulate a few of them. So if you put 2,000 in Apple over the last 10 years, in that account, you put it today and you close that platform, you close and you walk away, you throw away your phone, and you should come back 10 years this year, you open that phone, that account, you meet 28,000 pounds in that account. How many of us can afford 2,000 10 years ago? Now, how many of us bought Apple phone last about 10 years ago? Now, don't signify. I'm probably as guilty as you are. Okay. So same thing with Nike. If you look at Nike, if you put in 2,000 in Nike 10 years ago, today you have this. So you have an annual return on Apple of 30%, and you have an annual return of 40% on Nike. If you had put that money into Microsoft 10 years ago, you have 22,000 in your account right now, as an average of 27% per annum. If you remember that we did our compound interest based on 10%, you can see actual return from the market for some of them. But again, you can't get it all right. There are some things you will buy that won't be as good as this. Okay, so at the end of the day, your account balances out, to become 10-15% per annum. Coca-Cola will give you this, and there's a reason for some of them are slow and steady, like Coca-Cola, like Walmart, like Procter and Gamble. You can see that their return on a yearly basis is low. But what happens during recession is that during recession, people are still drinking Coke, people are still bathing, they are still using toothpaste, they are still eating McDonald's. So those are recession-proof kind of stock which you must have in your account. They are slow, they are steady, they are not like Microsoft or Apple, because nobody, the other things are discretionary. You don't buy a new phone when you are hungry, but you still have to eat when you're hungry. So McDonald's will still do well during a recession, but some other stuff might not do so well. You may probably cancel your Netflix subscription during a very hard time, but you still have to use cream or use toothpaste. Okay, and so that's why those ones are like that. Then you look at Facebook, you probably have an account. It will have given you a 26% return per annum over the last 10 years. Adobe, the popular PDF company, they do a lot of other things. Google or Netflix will are giving you 24,000. Tesla, which is popular, we love the car when we see it, will are giving you 61,000 in your account if you put 2,000. If you live, in fact, not up to 10 years, because they went public not too long ago. So you probably will have a 61,000 in your account by now for putting in 2,000. For those who know this, Intuitive Surgical, 22,000 per annum on the average. NVIDIA, I call some of them hold money, some of them new money. But you look at NVIDIA, Supermicro Computer, Palo Alto Network, or Advanced Micros Devices, they're kind of new money. They are kind of things that have to do with AI, that have to do with chips on your phone, chips on your system, on servers. They have to do with with the new things, cybersecurity, and the rest of them. They're kind of new kind of companies, and they've been there for decades, but they are steady, they are stabilized, they are stabilized, and then they bring in income regardless. So let's just play around with a few. They call them ticker. These are tickers, especially for American companies. These are tickers. You can just play around with a few of them, and you can see for yourself what we're talking about here. So I would minimize that, and I will bring up. I will click copy one of one of those lanes, and let's override this one. This is how that looks like. And so the ticker for Apple is APPL. Okay, sorry, AAPL. That's for Apple. If you look at 10 years ago, will be 2013. If you had put in 2000, you do the calculation, you have 28,000 in your account right now. If you know any popular one that you want to put in the chat, please put in the chat. You can see how much it will probably return back to you. If you have any ticker you want us to look at, and let's see what that will return to you. Let me look at one of the ones I call the new money. Let me look at let's look at the super micro, the SMCI, which is one of the ones I have. That would have given you 47,000 from 2000. Just leave it there. It's passive income. You don't have to do anything. So like I said, I'm not discussing trading today. I don't day trade. It involves you working on a daily basis. It's not passive income. It's high risk. I have 10 reasons why I don't day trade. I've done that in the past. I've lost a lot of money. But this is you investing and having dividend, and you're a shareholder of all these companies. So 2010 years ago, we're giving you 47,000 without you having to do any extra thing. Just put that money and walk away, and you come back and you're able to sell and withdraw your money today if you want to do so. And so if you have any ticker, let me see what people are putting in there. Someone said Tesla, someone said TPE, Taiwan Semiconductor. Let's look at Taiwan Semiconductor. Let's see what that will give us. They want a ticker. Let me go and get the ticker for you. Taiwan Semiconductor is TSM. Okay, that's the ticker. That's TSM and TSM. That will have given you 14,000. Okay, if you put that in, someone's put in Tesla. And what's Tesla's ticker? That's TSLA. So if you had bought Tesla, sorry, TSLA. Tesla. Yeah, Tesla will have given you 62,800 if you bought it, put in 2010 years ago, and on like that. I've got more tickers in here. Someone said TPE. I said that would be 2033. So TPE. Let me look at what TPE is. What's TPE? TPE. Okay, Polska Energia. Okay, that might not come up. What will come up will probably be someone said oil. Let's look for that for Chevron. For instance, Chevron is CVX. Let's see what Chevron will probably return back to you during that period. That's CVX. CVX. Okay. Yeah, Zero will give you 5,900. If you look closely at it, Chevron pays dividend, give you another additional 3% on a yearly basis. If you look at some of the new ones, they might not pay you dividend. So that's another thing you have to look at the stability and how big the company is. So over the years, if you look at that chart for Chevron, over the years, you've seen the way it has grown over the years and pays 3% dividend or whatever you put in on a yearly basis. So there are some those hold and steady ones, and then there's some the new ones. So let's write down now. So that's what's possible in the market if you know how to select your portfolio. You can see a lot of them return. We have 7% here. Some of them might probably return negative. So it could, some return there can return negative to you. It's not all or the same. As we also put down here that past performance quoted represent performances quoted represent past performance does not guarantee what the future results might be. So it's always good to put that out there. But when you have a good mix of your portfolio, where some are negative, some are doing very well, you can have a very balanced account. And like I said, don't predict the market. It's futile time to predict the market. You don't try to predict the market. So what you try to do is you position yourself for the market. So if you look at the last 13 years, look at 2010, the market S&P returns 14%, 2011 is 10%, come down to 2020 when 2018 was negative in the market. If you come to 2020, that was the year of coronavirus. That still came out to be a very good year, despite what happened the first quarter of the year. Market returned 18%. Look at last year, because of inflation, 2022 it was minus 18%. That the market was minus 18%. And so far this year, we already have 16% on the S&P this year. Now, I will focus on last year, where we had a negative 18%. And I will show you a portfolio I started at the end of 2021, and then just one of my portfolios, and then you see what I'm saying, that you don't predict the market. It's a waste of time. It's going down. You don't want to put your money. Take a look at this. So this chart is from November. This is from November to date. So the red bars are the days the market went down, and then the green bar, this could probably be a weekly one chart can be per week. So the week that the market went down and the weeks that market went up. If you look at it, it's not all green. You have, and in fact, this was last year was the market went down so much last year. That was how we had minus 18%. But look at an account I started November last year. Look at how the account went, and now the account is in positive. Okay, so what do you do when the market is going down? So there's something called dollar cost or pound cost average. Okay, even when when market is going down, you are positioning yourself. Don't say, oh, market is down today, I will not put money. No, you can't. So you can't time when the market will start going up. So all you can do is to position yourself for when that market will go up. History has told us that it will go up. Okay, the period that it will take for it to go up might differ from one downturn to the other. But we know that in the last 75 years, its market has been recovering. In fact, from the Great Depression, market has been recovering up to now. So so what do? You position yourself. So what was happening when market was going down? I kept positioning myself in a lot of these stocks. I've got quite a number of them. This just a list that the screenshot can take. I kept positioning myself. It was just like when you know it's summer now. There's sales in the markets. So when you have Microsoft down by 30%, that's 30% discount on Microsoft. What do? You buy. Then you bought some at a very high price. Now, when you bought some at 100, for instance, and it's now 70. By the time you average, and you now buy at 70, you average it, you know, that your average price is no longer 100. Your average price is, you know, half of 170. So you just keep you buy, but again, there's a way you need more intelligence, financial intelligence, to be able to know what to do in terms of stock buying before you know. That's what is called the falling knife. You don't want to catch a falling knife. You want to buy what we call a bounce, dead cat that is bouncing. You know, if you throw a dead cat on the floor to bounce up, or you end up on the floor again. You don't want to put money into that, and you don't want to catch a falling knife. But what do you do when market is going down? Is that you have to understand what you have conviction about. That's why it's very, very important. You don't buy a stock unless you have strong conviction about it. You study their books. You know they are making profit. You know what's happening in the market is general. There's inflation, so the market is suffering from inflation and from what has happened during the coronavirus. And so things are going down. What do? You keep dollar costing average into whatever your conviction in. By the time the market starts taking off, you position yourself, you bought at the bottom. And so when market starts taking off, you are enjoying a lot of benefits of what is happening in the market. And if I go back to my browser, I will just quickly show us a few things. So this is the US market, and this is NASDAQ. NASDAQ is the technology stocks. S&P is general for top 500. Dow Jones is the manufacturing stock like Caterpillar, like all these manufacturing companies. And so let's look at NASDAQ maximum. So if you look at here, this is .com. This is .com era, when 2000, when .com crash happened, .com bubble. Okay, it came down. Okay, but look at where we are today. This is the 2008-2009 financial crisis. It came down, but it wasn't the end of the world. You see where we are today. This is coronavirus. It came down within 3 months, very sharp. You know, you think it's the end of the market. See where the market is today. Now, this is the current problem going on. Inflation is come down, okay, but the market is recovering. And in fact, worse than inflation, impact has been worse than coronavirus on the market. It was sharp. There was a V-shaped recovery. This has been the inflation still going on, but we can see that inflation is easing. Market is picking up again. Probably in the next 5 years, it'll probably be somewhere here. So what am I saying? Don't be afraid of red down days. Don't be afraid of, don't say, just what you need to do is to keep your cool. Which are the things that I'm hoping that we'll be learning from this. And so the market recovers from what has happened in the past. If you look at Dow Jones, if you look at the same, probably have the same pattern. If you look at S&P 500, Max, it probably give you the same pattern. And this is free. If you go to Google Finance, you can always have this chart view. Okay, so let's move on from there. Okay, going back to the slide. And my aim is for you to be able to do this yourself, for you to have that confidence, open an account, put in some, and because if you look at this account, that's what is called fractional shares, which I will explain to us as we go on. You can put in as little as $10 into a particular share. Okay, so exploring investment instruments. Okay, let's move. So if you want to go and have a cup of water or a tea, you can please do. Okay, so we have a different instrument that you can invest in, and you have the ones in green are the ones we'll be talking about. The ones in this color of green. We have the ETFs, mutual funds, and stocks. They have to do with stock exchange. You have buying and starting a business. You have savings, and then you have real estate. The rest are also instruments you can. Some people buy gold bars and they keep them. Some trade in commodities. Some do option trading. Some do the paper, the treasury bills, treasury notes, bonds, and then I don't do bond because I think I'm not old. I'm not that old. I cannot leave it for the old people because the return is very small, but it's very secured, and so I can still take some risks. So I do some of this. So that's the one down here, just summary of money market, stock market, real estate, entrepreneurship, and angel investing. And that's you investing in new companies. So now I'll go to what applies to us in the UK. If you are not living in the UK, you probably want to find what applies to your area. So stock exchange, that's the market in which securities are being sold and being bought. So these are some of these securities. There's a market for it where people buy and sell them. And we were in US earlier in the month, just this last week, where I didn't go to New York because of the training, but it just happened that we found ourselves in New York, and we went to NASDAQ in Times Square, took a picture there. So it's an example of a stock exchange, and what they trade there is technology stocks. the likes of the likes of Google and the rest of them. So we have in UK, you have the London Stock Exchange, you have the New York Stock Exchange, you have NASDAQ, and in France it's called the CAC, DAX, and Nickel in Japan. They have their name that you call those stock exchange where you buy and sell commodities. Investment. So you now have the investment platforms. These are tools. These are apps that help you to easily buy and sell shares in company. There are quite a number of them. I use 2 of them, and I will give you the name of the ones that I use. I compare the prices, and I think the price of the one I chose at that time. I've also checked today to look at the prices of what they charge for you to buy and sell, and I think they are still very okay. So, like I've said, we are not talking about day trading today, and we do not also trade on cryptocurrencies. They are not regulated. For full disclosure, I have 200 pounds in cryptocurrency. That's just being me, just playing around. But it's not regulated. We don't train it, and we don't advise people to put money in it. Some people have withdrawn their deposit for their house, and they put in crypto, and it is where it is today. Okay, so it's not regulated. But when you have and for trading, when you do day trading, you don't own the stock. You buy and sell up and down, but you don't own anything. It means if you buy and the market goes down, you lose money. Or when you lose money, that money is gone. But if I should buy Microsoft today, Microsoft should go down, I will remain a shareholder in Microsoft. If it should come back in the next 2, 3, or 4 years, then I will still make a profit because I am a shareholder. So even when it's down, I'm still getting dividend. And so that is why investing and trading are 2 different things. Okay. So for specific to the UK now, we have investment for children, government kind of approved package for children, for young adults, and for adults. And I will go through all of them. You can start with as little as £100 in any of the following ones. Okay. So the first one which you can open for your child or children today is the ISA. Is the junior ISA. So you can open junior ISA. It could be savings towards their college or towards their first house, and then it's for children under the age of 18. Okay, you are allowed to put in a maximum of 9,000 per tax year, and all the profit you make from that 9,000 is tax free. Okay, your profit is not taxed, and then and when they are 18, you can give the account to them when they are 18, and then they can continue with their account. So I put in a few companies here where you can open junior ISA. I use HL. Okay, HL is the one I use. I've not used Fidelity before. I've not used Vanguard before. This is the one I use, and then you can start with as little as £100, and you can start buying mutual funds and stocks from there. Okay, you can check the provider for their fees, and then tax rule could change. Another government could come and say, okay, you want to come and raid your accounts. I know people will protest, but let's see. But for it's being that anything you make from your ISA account is tax free. Okay, so put compound interest to work for your child, like we simulated in earlier slides. Second account that you can open is that investment account for young people, and this is for people who are between the age of 18 and 29 and 39. It's called LISA, Lifetime ISA. It's called, so the name is, people call it LISA, and then you can, so that you are, when you invest into this as somebody who's 18 to 39, you are allowed to withdraw that money to buy a house. If you are buying your first house, you are allowed to withdraw the money to buy your first house. Government adds money to it. If you put £100 into it, government will add £25 to it. They do that for you on a monthly basis that you had money into it. They give you 25% whatever you added to it, to a maximum of 1,000 that you put in a year, because you can only put 4,000 in a year. So if you put 4,000 in a year, the government will give you 1,000 added to your money. So you have you have you have that amount in that you can invest and trade with that money for that particular year. And next year you continue. Any profit you make on it is tax free. You can start with £100, and after 12 months you can withdraw and buy a house, or leave it or buy a house later. And if you don't buy a house, you can leave it until you are age 60, and then it can form part of your retirement fund. And then also AJ Bell I put AJ Bell A and I put hl.co.uk. hl.uk Lisdon is the biggest of them all in the UK. Okay, another one is the junior SIP. SIP is self-invested pension plan, and we also have for young people. You can also start that from the age of so the LISA is more like an ISA plus a SIP, because if you don't use the money, it becomes more like a pension plan, like a SIP for those people who are 18 to 39. But for junior SIP, you can start a pension fund for your child. Okay, more HSBC, Barclays. Sorry, I didn't check all of those ones. Okay, so you can put in 2,880 for your child into their pension. Even right now, government will add money to it when you do so. And then when they are 18, they can take over the account. They can't withdraw from it until you are 55. It's withdrawn from LISA, where you can withdraw to buy a house. This one is a pension. The rules of other pension rules apply to it. And you know, UK's pension rule is the most, UK tax rule is the most complex around the world. But they can't withdraw until they are 55. At you can withdraw lump sum of 25% of your account without paying any tax on it when you are 55. You can also start with as little as £100 today. So start thinking about mind that child and try and open one of these accounts for them. And so the next one is ISA. ISA, anybody can open an ISA account. You can withdraw from your ISA account anytime you want to withdraw from it. You have an allowance of 20,000 per tax year. You can put in 20,000 into your ISA account in a year, and whatever you make from it is not taxed. So you own a profit. When you sell it, you don't need to report that in your self-assessment, because it's from your ISA. You can only have one ISA per tax year. If you want to move to another, you want to open another ISA account the next tax year, you must stop paying into the one you have this year. So, and then you have another one, you pay into that one for the next, that's from April 6 to April 5, which is, I think, is the tax year for the UK. You can put money into that. If you want to stop putting money into it or move to another one, you can do that, but you can't pay into two ISA accounts in a year. In a tax year, it must be one. And for that also, it's tax-free. So you can split your ISA allowance between share and stock. You can put some, if you want to do cash ISA, you can put some in cash ISA, some in shares. However, some in innovative financing. You financing some it could be real estate and the rest of it. And so that's the ISA accounts. I will advise every adult. I would suggest, let me use the word suggest, every adult on this platform to have an ISA account, and to also have the next one I'm going to talk about, which is SIP account. The ISA account, a SIP account for the children. They have the junior SIP. They have the junior. They have the junior ISA. They have the LISA, and they have the junior SIP. And for adults, we have the ISA, and then we have the SIP. SIP is your self-investment pension fund, which you can run alongside your workplace pension. And you can put in up to 60,000 per tax year. And I think they've removed the limit of 1 million. Before your total pension can be more than $1 billion. I think that has been removed now. And then you can withdraw. And this, when you put in money, government puts money into it also for you. As you put money, government puts in 25% of whatever you put into it, because the money has been taxed. It's just a way of government returning your tax back to you. And if you're an higher taxpayer, you can also go and claim back an additional. So it's government will pay you for 5% of your contribution, 25% if you are not an higher taxpayer. So if you're an higher tax ratepayer, you can, through your accountant, claim more money to make it 45% be returned back to you, and you can put into the SIP account. So as you put money, government will match you with that 25%. You can access that as your retirement when you are 55. Withdraw 25% of it cash without you paying tax on it. Okay, so the instruments available to us in the UK. There are other ones. So we've done this in the evening so that you can take advantage. You can open an account today. I actually want us to take action. This is easy to do. I will show us how to do it now, and then so that you're able to open an account. This is my own personal example. We've got SIP, we've got ISA within the family. We are invested in over, if you look at 78 companies, stocks that we are invested in, about 20 mutual funds, and that we have investments in. And for us, like I have on this slide, it said the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now. So what am I saying is that don't leave it to tomorrow. You've not planted in the last 10 years, yeah, but you have an opportunity to plant that tree today. And these are some of the platforms which I've suggested you can plant. You have the freetrade.io. If you use that link, you'll be given free share, or I will be also given free share. If you don't want, you can use this or use this. And simple, download the app, go to App Store, go to Google Play. As we speak right now, you can pick up your phone, download the app and install it. So I want us to take that step to download the app first, put in your email. It's not as scary as you think, and try and open an account. So, but let me explain this to us. For HL will charge you for every deal that you make. So for every purchase that you make, HL will charge you. Okay, let me look for a website that where you can have the comparison for this. Let's go to probably free trade. I think free trade go. Yeah, that's logging you in. That's logging into that account I just showed you a while ago. They log out of that. So this is the chart I just showed you. So I just started an ISA on that account. My ISA was with HL before. Well, from April, I moved my ISA to free trade. This was the account I showed you a while ago, and you can see, yeah, it's a live account. It's not just a screenshot. And this is the one I just started in April. And if you want to join me in doing that, this is just started in April. And yeah, that's for today. And so this account is just building, and so what you do is you add money on a monthly basis, and so you can see some of them are red, but yeah, I'm not moved because I've gone for some dividend paying, like Taylor Wimpey is a UK company that builds houses, and they pay you a dividend of almost 9%, and so those that pay dividend then don't tend to do well when it comes to how the stock moves. I've also gone for another dividend paying Barratt's, another house building. They're paying dividend of 7.8%. They don't tend to do well when they pay dividend. I've gone for another one. They are kind of housing. I saw that they pay a lot of dividends. This place 16% dividend. It's a lot. So kind of just bought it. But so I'm just building an account. So if you want to join me building this account, you can start today and we can start building together. But I started putting in some new ones into it. This cybersecurity, this data cloud company. I put in Microsoft. I put in Google. I put in this a furniture company in the US. I started putting this an electrical company in China. Started putting in new. So just building that account in the last 2-3 months. So I was going somewhere. Let me log out on this. I was going to look at the fees for free trade. Or let me just do a Google search. trading platforms in the UK. You got quite a number of them. And if you want to look at the pricing, let me see. So you have Freetrade here. You have H&L here. So that the two. So for Freetrade is zero. They don't charge you. They don't charge you dealing fee, but you pay a monthly fee when you pay a monthly maintenance kind of account fee. Let me say free. I want to get it from their website. Trade fees. Okay. So that will give us. So if you don't do the basic accounts, you can't do ISA on it. Any money you put into basic accounts, you pay tax on it. You don't want that to happen. So they charge £6 or £7, I would say. They charge £6 on a monthly basis, or when you do the plus, they charge £11, £12 on a monthly basis. Or you can have your SIP and your ISA there. And you know the advantage of this is that because you do fractional buying. So what is fractional buying? Is the fact that you can instead of you buying this is Caterpillar, for instance, is $255 to buy a single share, but you can buy same Caterpillar for $10 to give you 0.00%, 0.00 portion of that share, and that's the advantage of using Freetrade. You don't get fractional shares through HL. Okay, I have that open here. You don't get fractional shares through HL. HL don't do fractional share. Okay, but you can get that through Freetrade, but you pay a monthly fee. For every share you trade on, you buy or sell on HL, you pay like £11, which I think is a lot. So if you are doing fractional shares or you can also do fractional shares. But when you are on Freetrade, you can buy $10 of 10 shares, spreading your risk over 10 shares, put $20 into it, or put £25 into it. But then you won't pay for each of those transactions, or you pay a monthly fee. If you want to do ISA and want to do this, and you have money with them that you don't spend, they give you interest on that money. Okay, and so I am on this plan with Freetrade. So you can go ahead and download the app. If you downloaded the app and you've signed into it, you can give me a thumbs up. Okay, someone raised their hand. Grace Omoji. I was leaving the questions till when. Could you share where you find these shares to buy? Okay, where I find these shares to buy. Okay, I will just give you I'll give us so that's the next thing we're going to look at. Okay, they ask how do you pick winning stock? Okay, so when you have all these things, how do you know where to see these shares? How do you assess a share before you buy it? Okay, in the next in the few minutes that we have left. So first of all, another free thing that I want us to do is that if you have a Google account, go to google.com/finance so you can create a watch list. The first thing you do is you create a watch list. You open an account, I believe. If not, you can try, be bold to do that. You need to take action. If you don't put in £25, you won't know what it can become. So I'll just encourage that you open an account with any of those two companies. I would say start with Freetrade. If what you are putting is less than 1,000, you're putting less than £100 on a monthly basis, you're putting like £200 on a monthly basis, I would say you can try the Freetrade. Okay. The disadvantage of Freetrade is that they don't have mutual funds. Okay, I will explain what mutual fund is to us. Okay, if you come around to, okay, let's finish this, and I will go into what mutual fund is. Okay, so if you want to put in like £50, £100 on a monthly basis, go for freetrade.io. Okay. So this is Google Finance. Go to Google Finance. You have an MSN or Hotmail account. Go to Hotmail Money. Search for Hotmail Money. Yahoo Finance. Go to if you have Yahoo account, go to Yahoo Finance, and there you create a watch list. And I will show you what a watch list looks like. So I have my watch list on this account. I come around to here. This is a watch list. Okay, this is where you had. So this is the market today now. This is what the market has done today. Okay, some are positive, some are negative. Okay, but you have more positives than negative. And so you have this is a watch list. You can create, you can add new ones to it. You can create. I have another watch list of things I'm looking at. They all kind of look good today. I have a list of dividend stocks, those that pay good dividends. If you look at this, it pays 7.9%. It's a mining company. It pays some of them I'm looking at them. If you look at Phoenix Group, they pay 9% in dividend. Okay, so you create a watch list. So if I bring up a browser, if you go there, it'll probably give you a blank page. So if I say Google Finance, oh, I've logged in here. Let me sign out. So it should give you a blank page where you can start adding companies. UK shares, you have this, and so like 50-50 in the UK today for the things like I said, for all of this company on my watch list, by the grace of God, we invested in all of this company we have on this list. Don't jump and pick any one of them, because there's a timing to, as much as you don't have to time the market, they have to be in the position where you buy them. And we also invested in all of these UK companies, all of these in them. But this one is just watch list. Don't have any sort of Alibaba, sort of, or some of these. So these are ones I'm looking at currently. This is a very promising one. Been looking at for a while now. It's a lending platform in the US, started by a lot of ex-Google staff. And it's in the last 6 months, it's done 779%. The last 6 months this year is done 200%. But if I show you in the last, it got here to 400 and it came down when there was crisis, when there was inflation crisis, just trying to pick up. So because they are new companies, they just went public. So they are kind of 2001, they went public. So when a company has just gone public, they are high risk. Some of them can still close down. They might kind of close down as in close down. So going back to that question of how do you pick a stock, picking a winning stock. So what do you do? Create your watch list. And then how do you create a watch list? Look at an area of interest. For me, when I started out, I look at it, Microsoft. Every company in the world uses Microsoft. Then Microsoft started a cloud version of, before we used to go to Tiba in Ikeja and buy a CD. And that CD, you can use it for years. But now they are going cloud-based. So it means you pay a monthly subscription for Microsoft. Millions of people who are working in corporate organizations, they use Microsoft. That was my first curiosity for Microsoft. So if you look at what I put in the slide, let me bring up the slide, is the fact that you look around you first. People queue for iPhone all the time. Okay, every year there is a cult-like following for iPhone. So that's your first kind of curiosity, that what's going on here? Why are we all buying these products? They must be making a lot of money, So I look and I've kind of follow that principle, and you look at what experts are saying about that particular stock. Okay, and then you do some financial studies of the stock, which I will show you a bit of it now. And then if you have a conviction about it, then you bite size, you do a little of it. What I normally do is do £200. If it's to be on my fractional share, I do £50, and then I do £100, and then you can now consolidate and build on the ones you really have conviction for. So it's simple. It's more like an art. So I'll look at it. I look at ServiceNow because I work. I'm an IT consultant. We deploy ServiceNow for a lot of companies. That's what all the banks use for their support. their ITIL kind of incident raising ticket, they use ServiceNow. We all know paper. We know this is for cybersecurity. This is for NVIDIA. All the cryptocurrency mining servers in the world, a lot of them use NVIDIA for to mine cryptocurrency. So it was flaming the market. Currently AI, they are leading in AI, and supercomputer, microcomputer, they're leading in AI. And so that's kind of buzz for the market. We know the good old ones, Pepsi Cola, the good old one like Coca-Cola. Like you see people queue up at McDonald's. But I would also say that if McDonald's were to be in Nigeria, you see maybe they are using juju to attract people. People queue up at McDonald's all the time. So you should be curious what's going on here. And so you move on from there to looking at them. Okay, what are they really doing? You come around. If you go on that same Google Finance, you come around, scroll down a little bit, you look at how much they are making. Microsoft is still growing year on year. Microsoft is growing. Profit is increasing every year. So that tells you Microsoft might be a good company to have their stock. Okay, their dividend is very small. Okay, but yeah, for Microsoft is very small. I think about 2 or 0.something% or so. I can't remember. But you can see that they are, year in, year out, they are doing well. Profit is growing. So you can dip deeper into balance sheet. If you can see their balance sheet versus their asset versus liability is looking very good, 300 billion. If you can look at their cash flow, you look at a few of those things, and then you can make a decision that let me try this out. Okay, you can make it to say let me try that out. Okay, so we're running out of time. I've just been reminded. So, and that's how you build your watch list. Okay, and then if you look at the trend in the markets, you you look at the trend, you can see how it's going. See, if you see all these things this is going to come down. What do? You don't panic. It came down almost 4.5% here. Look at this, it came down 24%. Okay, if you look at this, due to inflation, it came down 35%. So if you have a conviction that is Microsoft on sale, you rush to the market and you get a piece of Microsoft because you've done your due diligence. That's their dividend is 0.7 in dividend, or because they're high growth rate company. They don't pay, they put their money back into research and development, and that's why they don't pay much dividend. Okay, and you see company paying 7-10%, they don't do much of R&D again. They are just coasting, and so you don't have too much of that in your portfolio. So Microsoft was down 34%. What do? You love it, you buy more of it, and then there's a recovery going on. It's done 39% back to where it was before this issue of what do you call it now? Inflation came into being. Okay, this was coronavirus for Microsoft. It dropped 25%. What do? You don't panic because you've done your due diligence. What made Microsoft came down wasn't Microsoft. It was just the news. Microsoft is still Microsoft. And so from there, from coronavirus, it's done more than 100%. Okay. And so you have that. We have just 10 minutes left for this. And so I'll just go back to this slide and I will run through so I can respect your time. So that's how you choose stock into your watch list. And from there, you start buying what you want to buy into. Bite-sized investment, like I've said, and then you ease into it gradually. And then if it goes down, if you believe in it, when it goes down, you buy a little bit more. If it goes down, you buy a little bit more if you really believe in what you're doing. And then see, any money you will need for the next 2 years, don't put in the stock market. You give yourself 5 years at least for the stock market. If you have a deposit for your house, you want to buy your house next year, don't put in the stock market, please. It's not a get rich quick way of making money. Don't. Because anything will happen. It could be down for 1 or 2 years. A coronavirus and the inflation has been around for the last 1 or 2 years. So again, even though you can make money during those periods, but you don't put any money you will need in the next 2-3 years, please don't put in the stock market. Don't try to say you want to double your money. Any that promises you more than 10 to 15%, any investment that promises more than 10 to 15% per annum, please be wary of it. When you promise more than 50%, I look away the other way, because you have to protect your capital first. That's the first rule. Protect your capital. Okay, there are savings options. Because inflation is going up, savings account is becoming lucrative. You can get 5% of your savings account, but not like what you will get. And if you have short-term money that you will need in a year's time, put it in NS&I. That's if you're going on, if you're saving towards holiday, just leave it in NS&I. Your savings also you need in the next 1 year, 2 years. You don't want NS&I won't give you, it's a 0% interest, but you have a chance of winning $1 million. And they kind of distribute the profits randomly to everybody on a yearly basis. It's very secure, it's government backed, you're loaning government money, it's premium, it's called premium bond. And then you can just, and then for real estate, we don't have that time for me to go into real estate today, but it's a good investment you can leverage on. I have an example of an investment of 10,500 years ago that I think I've become $500,000 today. I won't have time to explain that. Then you can go into entrepreneurship, where you either buy a business or you build a business from scratch. And we have people who are infopreneurs, and your side hustle is a buzzword today and all of that. And then, so we have how many more minutes? We have 8 more minutes. So in summary, this is what we discussed today. I want to believe, if you think you've learned something, can you put a yes in the chat for me? If you think you've learned something today, can I have that yeses in the chat to encourage me a little bit to do more of this? And if you know anybody, thank you. If you know anybody, that you think will benefit from this, please share with them. And then from this, so far today, we've looked at all of these things, and I want to believe we've learned. But beyond this is also the second class that we're offering. We're offering the master class. And the beauty of that is that we can now go deeper into what we've learned today, so as it won't be enough for me to make for me to be able to provide the kind of mentoring that you require. If you're interested in taking this further, we have a master class coming up, and that master class is coming up in August. It's going to be a Saturday. We have 5 hours together on a Saturday, 19th of August, of 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The cost is $250 per participant. So an household could do that. And then what do you stand to gain? We go into technical analysis. How do you look? When I look at a chart, I know what the chart is saying. How can you know what the chart is saying? Look at fundamental analysis. How do you look at other things apart from the chart that going around a company for you to be able to say, okay, I have conviction about this company, I want to buy the stock. We'll be able to analyze mutual funds, their components, and ETFs, their components. We'll be able to formulate a strategy for yourself on what to buy, which sector to play. Is it biomedical? Is it technology? Your risk appetite. We have a community where we discuss on a daily basis things that we are buying and selling. And other people, if you've been doing this before, you're welcome in the community after this training, and you can also bring in your wealth of experience. What are you doing? You can share knowledge together, and then you can leverage on each other's experience, and then you can start doing this big time for yourself, no matter how much you put in your stock on a monthly basis. And then I can share my portfolio like I have on that watch list, what I've invested in. Over 70 companies I've invested in. I can tell you which one I still have strong conviction about, which one I'm about to sell or move away from, and the rest of it. And then we look at debt management strategy and what has worked for us. We'll be sharing how that works with you also if you need that. And then I'll give you 10 reasons why I don't day trade. Some people still do it, or it's not what I do. Then look into property investment a little bit. And then for the first 5 people who register for this, we have a one-on-one call together, and we can discuss your vision and build your strategy together for you to be able to proceed. So it's So that brings us to the end of the class. If you want to register for the master class, the link is here. I would say go for it. You will not regret going for it. I wish I'd known more about this, like I said, 10 years ago. Know where to put your 1,000 today for, and look at what it could become in the next 5 years. Before you know it, 5 years is here and it's gone. Before you know it, 10 years is here. Before you know it, that child is going to the university and you don't want them going to take a loan to go to the uni. You want them to be debt free when they're out of uni, and I think we hold them that much. And so I want us all to be able to come around and let's go on this journey together. I've been able to build portfolios in tens of thousands of pounds, and I believe you can do the same thing. And it's not rocket science at all. And I can show you the mistake I've made so that you don't fall into the same pitfall. Okay, so questions. Someone's raised their hand.